tap, tap in. Tap, 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 tap, tap in. Hey, it's your girl Titi from the D. It's Tap In Tuesday. I want to say thank you so much for all of those that's tapping in over there in the Facebook world, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, all those different places. We are over on here in Instagram world. We know that we are not able to link them through StreamYard. StreamYard has not allowed us to do that with the capacity that they've allowed us to have. So for those of us that like to make sure that we have a well-rounded audience and our people all around, then we use every platform humanly possible, right? So you might see me looking from time to time up here because my camera's streaming up there. Hey, everybody over there. And then, hey, everybody right here over here on Instagram. So tonight, right, I didn't do promotion for tonight to be 100% transparent like I like to be with you guys. I really didn't think I was going to have this show tonight. It's a lot going on. But yet, I said, you know what? We're getting ready to shut down season 2. And I wanted to come in and share some information about that. And we're getting ready to prepare for season 3. And, you know, with new things, you never know what can happen, what will manifest, right? When we just stepping out on faith, we trusting, and we knowing that we're entering different seasons, right? And so with that being said, I want to congratulate everybody who used their voice. If you got out there and voted on November 8th, that was an important date around the globe in most parts of the world. We had to get out there to those polls, whether you did that online, if you did that over in person, if you did that through the absentee ballot, whatever that looked like for you, salute to everybody who used their voice, used their time to make sure that they casted their vote. Let's say that. I do have, it's in honor of Giving Tuesday, and I let the mighty people down at Michigan Nonprofit Association know that I would be sharing their information that was hot off the press today. Hashtag Giving Tuesday, a day for my Michiganders, because we're here. I'm a D girl, y'all. So I'm from the D, but it's a day that Michiganders were asked to support local nonprofits during this given season. Shout out to Rocky Harris, who made this an amazing contribution. Follow her, find out what she did. She had an amazing event last week. I wasn't able to attend, but I was one of those folks that sowed a seed. And I'm so happy that she was able to bless some amazing young artists in a very lucky classroom today. Lansing, with the rising inflation and ongoing pandemic, the nonprofits across Michigan need the support during this winter time season of giving. So Giving Tuesday is a day that encourages people to do good. And that came from the president, the CEO, Kelly Kuhn, of Michigan Nonprofit Association, a wonderful lady. I had the opportunity of interviewing her on TT from the D podcast, and she'll be back. I had the opportunity to interview her twice, so she'll be coming back for season 3. I'm super excited about that. On this Giving Tuesday, she's asking Michiganders to choose your sector, whether it be with your time or with monetary donations. Ending yet another year with a global pandemic. We're still in the pandemic. I know some of y'all think it's over. It's not over. It didn't go nowhere. And according to the news, which, you know, you can't believe everything you hear or see, and that's everything, okay? That, you know, there's different strands. Look at what's happening. I was educated today what's happening over in China. And I'm like, oh my God, I wasn't even abreast of that. And so I'm like, wow, there's so much that's going on around the globe. And this is the time when people need our help, our support, our ears, our voices. Some of us can use our platforms to encourage, empower
to bring to the forefront of things that really will help other people get to that next level. I stumbled across a company today that I found out did an amazing thing on Thanksgiving. I can't remember the name of their organization, so I won't even attempt to, but they're local from Detroit, and they put up a lot of misplaced people on Thanksgiving. Okay, they rented out hotel rooms, I believe, on 3 floors for folks that were displaced to give them a warm room, a comfortable bed. They provided toiletries and clothes and shoes and coats and boots and hats, and even information and people on site to help them try to get back to the basics of living a normal life, right? And that's a big deal. And I want to give them their flowers. I'm going to find out the name of their company, and I'm going to reach out to them. I really want to actually interview them. But when I read that today, I was like, wow, there's some amazing things going on in this world, although we're so busy in life that we don't tend to the things that's not about us. And that's what we're going to get to today. Um, and on TC from the D, we're gonna talk about that, what that look like, that knowing, what season are you in? Are you in a giving season? Are you in a stand strong and stand flat with your feet on the ground season? Is this a season that you need to be moving ahead? Some of us are handcuffed to people and things that aren't really wanted to be handcuffed back, right? If that makes any sense to us. But you really, really just need to know it's about giving to others, right? Helping other people out, making sure that when you have an opportunity that you pay it forward. Do you have to do that? No, you don't. Is it nice to do that? Heck yeah. I think about all the times that people have paid it forward for me. And I myself, and this is what TT does, I enjoy paying it forward for other people, whatever that looks like. It's not always with money. And some people think it's always about money. It's about your time. It could be about your conversation. It could be about your kind deed, your act of kindness. It doesn't even have to be directly. It could be indirectly, if that makes sense, right? So shout out to Michigan Nonprofit Association. They want to make sure that people know that this is Giving Tuesday, right? And I said that I would share that information. You want to go over and follow them over on www.mnaonline.org to get more information on that. For those of you that might have stopped by or peeked in over on Instagram, I appreciate you guys. I didn't do any promotions today, so this show is going to be one of those. If you see it, great. If you don't see it, you'll see it when you meant to see it. I believe that, and that kind of aligns with being in that season, right? Just walking in that thing, understanding like what season am I in, right? And a lot of times we get lost, when you, hey queen, hey sis. So shout out to my sis Melanie. When we are walking in those things, right? We want to be intentional, right? That's a word we need to focus on for a moment, is being intentional. We're not always intentional. And I don't think that we are not intentional on purpose. It's just that we're so busy in life, right? And we have to kind of slow down sometimes. There's been a lot of deaths. A lot of people are still in mourning season. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of changes, and changes is always good, I feel, when it's with a positive intent, when you're changing for the better, when you're doing something that's not only for you but for other people, when you're sowing a seed. And again, it don't have to always be monetary. It could be your time, right? A lot of people need just an ear, right? Opportunities just will flourish and manifest, and they'll come to you. Are you chasing something that's not for you? Are you looking at something and trying to be something that you're not? Are you headed down a pathway and you keep getting all these blocks and you're like, I can't get around this boulder. I can't get over this. Well, maybe God doesn't want you to. Maybe that's not for you. And what's crazy is when we do it and it's not really fueled from inside, but it's fueled from what people tell us we need to be doing. You should be doing this. If I was you, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay. And, you receive things, but then you have to also be mindful that you live your own life. God gave you a life intentionally for you to live on your own for whatever time you're going to be on this earth, right? So when you look at life, and I'm 47 now. I was just having this conversation with my husband. I said, when we get to a part in our life where we realize we live for others, right? We're living for everybody else. We're living to make others happy. A lot of times we sacrifice our peace, we sacrifice our stability because we want to make sure everybody else is okay. Then you realize no one's checking to make sure you're okay. But you don't do things for that. That's not a good place to come from. When you do things for people, I would hope that you're doing it from the genuine part of your soul, from who you really are. Like, not with any hidden agendas or, oh, well, I did this for you. Well, you should have done. No, you should never come from that place. In your heart, it does hurt you when you know you bend over backwards, you go that extra distance, you go that extra mile for people that you love on. But what we got to recognize and realize, ladies and gentlemen, is sometimes the love we give is not going to be the love we're going to receive. So you have to be comfortable with being a giver, right? You have to be comfortable with being a giver. Sometimes more of a giver than you still, it might not be in the way in which you want to receive, but you receive it differently. It could be a year later, 5 years later, 10 years later. And let me be clear about this. The same people that you help ahead, even if they forget about you or they ignore you, because guess what? They ain't forgot you. They feel like you're here to help me build my empire. You're here to help me build my agenda, chase my dream, get my thing on the map, right? And that's great when we understand we're here to build. Let's go. We're here to build. But it's something about being on this thing. And I love to use this metaphor. I tell people when I do public speaking engagements and things, if the audience and the temperature, when I'm checking for the temperature, if it's right, I love to reference the movie with Sylvester Stallone. It's called Cliffhanger. It's in the beginning of that movie that was the most powerful piece I felt, the message that I saw there. He was hanging on that line, right, with his daughter and son. And he realized he was at the bottom, right, as they were climbing up. That rope was getting ready to snap, right? And so he knew he's an experienced climber. These are his children, right? He knew if I hang on, we're all doomed. But if I cut this rope, you got the opportunity to grow and advance and move ahead and attack whatever lies ahead. I've lived, not saying that I don't like living, but guess what? I'm going to sacrifice this because it's selfish of me to take you down just because I'm falling down, right? And they begged their father, please don't do it. What parent wouldn't do that for their child? You're hanging on. And you know, like, your weight is pulling it down. If you cut this rope, it'll lessen that. And you have more of an opportunity to survive than you cut that rope. But so many folks in this lifetime are selfish. Some of y'all, okay? If the shoe fits, put it on. Okay? I don't know. Maybe I'm talking to you. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm talking about somebody you know. Okay? And I'm not talking to a friend. I'm just talking, right? But and we're talking about seasons. Recognizing what season are we standing in. Some people will hold on to you and they will pull you until you fall flat to the ground. They don't care if you die because they feel like if I'm falling, you need to be falling with me. No, that's not what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be helping people build each other up, right? Brick by brick, right? I am a farmer. You're a farmer. Everybody's a farmer on their own land, right? We don't recognize it because we think we're not worthy. Some of us think we're not worthy to have our own, but maybe it ain't your season. So maybe you got to go through the farming so you can learn how to maintain a good farm and learn from other farmers that's paved the way. That people will reference them ancestors, people before us that put in that work. I remember Twinkie, y'all know her as Twinkie. We'll just leave it at that. Twinkie. I was just like really like, oh my God, you know, when I was having an opportunity to chat with her in Clubhouse, I paid my respect to her and everybody that was in that room because I'm always humble and I always want to make sure that I give people their flowers, their plants, the seeds, whatever, when I'm in their presence, because you may not have that opportunity later in life, right? So I went over into Instagram because they encourage you on Clubhouse to follow people on the other social media platforms, network politics, that's what it's about, right? So I did that and I went over there and I just really was humble and I, humility field, just felt like, oh my God. So I just thanked her like endlessly. Yes, Mel, yes. Twinkie from the Clark sisters. Yeah, Mel, you're right. Yes, that's what I'm talking about, babe. She asked me a question And I'm going to be transparent because that's what you can always guarantee and believe and trust that I'm going to be transparent when I come on the show. Why not? You don't need somebody coming on here blowing smoke up your butt. I'm not going to do it. I don't have time for it. We all have busy lives. We got things we could do. Y'all got a million other podcasts or shows you could tap into. So why would I come on and waste your time or my time, my family's time, who allow me to do this freely? So she said, I want to know, Queen, if you know whose shoulders you stand on. And ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, I didn't know what she was referencing. I felt real ignorant. But you know what I did? I said, Queen, I don't mean to sound ignorant, but I don't understand your question. What do you mean when you say, do I know whose shoulders I stand on? And there was like a pause for a minute. And I was like, she probably going to be like, what? But the beautiful thing about it, she responded back. She's like the Oprah Winfrey's, the Lena Hornes, the Whoopi Goldbergs. And she just went on or named some other people or whatever. And she referenced the book for me to read and get more information to come back and talk with her about it. And when I got through communicating with her, I felt so empowered. And I thought about the people who paved the way, right? And another thing, I've had some people recently reach out to me, and this was a humbling moment for me because I'm still learning. I'm going to always learn as long as there's breath in my body. I'm going to always learn. I'm always humbling myself to people that will give me the opportunity. I don't expect anybody to give me anything. I believe in working hard for my stuff because I don't want anybody to ever feel like, well, you only got that because I gave it to you. If you want to give me something, then great. You want to bless me? Great. Thank you. Hey, Tracy. Hi. Real Praiser, you said this is why you have to be careful who you allow to become a link in your chain. Yes, you do. I don't know if you're still there, but you're right about that. Always a student. That's right, Mel. And I'm talking back and forth, y'all. Instagram probably going to cut off shortly. But if you want to join in on the show, I'm over on my YouTube page. I'm also live on my LinkedIn, my Twitter, on my Facebook, TT from the D podcast show. If you know me personally, I'm on my page going live. So if you want to catch the show and join in, log in through StreamYard.com/Facebook, get into your account and jump in here and share your questions and your comments if you would like to chime in tonight. Because we're talking about knowing what season you're in, right? And so, talking back what Mel said, always a student. I'm always open to learning. If you're willing to teach me, I'm willing to learn, right? I'm never going to be in a position I don't feel like I don't need to learn that. You can learn something every day. As a matter of fact, we're supposed to learn something every day. I don't care how big, how small, right? But getting back, because I don't want to digress, but Twinkie, when she asked me that, it was like one of those, it put me in another mindset. And it's all about your mindset, changing our mindsets, right? You have to be open. And some of us are closed-minded. And some of us, well, I already know that. I don't need to learn no more. Really? Okay, well, if you feel like, okay, hey, who am I to tell you? I know I can always learn. I'm always willing. I will ask people, can I shadow you? Some things, depends on how much I believe in somebody or something. I might even say, listen, if you don't really know my skill set or you don't know me and you're like, I'm really used to working with people I know. I get you. I respect that. Some people do. It's all good. I'll come on and say, let me do a pro bono for you. Let me rock this event for you. Let me work this event for you. You don't got to pay me. I want you to see my work. When you see my work, and it's not like I'm going to be like, oh, look at me. Look what I'm doing. No, I work like a robot. I know what I'm supposed to be doing. And when I get hired, it's almost like an over the top. It's another Sylvester Stallone movie. When he would arm wrestle, he was a truck driver, right? I love movies, as you can tell. And when he would go arm wrestle and he turned that hat backwards, he turned into something else. It's like he got this power. Well, when I go and I work, whether I'm a stage manager or if I'm on set behind the scenes, an artist assistant, whatever role I'm fulfilling, I get in this mindset. And it's amazing to me to hear other people say things like, oh, when TT put on those boots, because they got this joke. People say, because I wear these army boots when I work. And people say, when TT put on them boots, oh, it's game over. And I'm pleasant. I'm professional. I don't be cussing and going off on folks. I don't got to do all that. I need you to do what you know you got hired to do. And that's just what it is. That's it. We ain't got no problems. We understand what we're here to do. Let's get the work done. That's where I come from. That's the house I come from. I've trained under some amazing people. And so I always give them their flowers. But Parker, I received that message. I don't know if you're still on here, brother. Thank you. God bless you too, friend. Over there on my Facebook, a good friend who's also an amazing actor. He says, sis, I see God opening major doors in your life. God bless you, sister. Bless you too, bro. And you gotta let people be who they're gonna be, right? You gotta let people be who they're gonna be. And let me tell y'all something else, and this ain't gonna be a shocker to a lot of you guys. God will expose folks that pretend. I like to call people the little Red Riding Hood. Like, people check your temperature from time to time. You know, they're not responding. They ain't liking your stuff. They're not sharing your stuff. You know, you might invite them to something, they never show up. They never support. That don't mean they don't like you or love you. They just ain't rocking with you like that. And that's, hey, we gotta learn that everybody ain't rocking with us. Everybody say, I got your back, I support you, I do. We say things, but I believe we shouldn't say things we don't mean, right? Even if I buy something that I can't use, I know somebody that can probably use it. Or I'll hold it and I'll gift it to somebody. I know I can bless somebody with something. But I'm also sowing a seed, right? But the thing that I've been hurt, and you know how they have that saying, I've been church hurt, or I've been work hurt, I've been whatever hurt. I've said this in a funny way, and a hee ha ha, but it ain't really funny. Production hurt. I've been on production teams where I'm like, what in a Lifetime special? I'm going to do me, and I'm going to do my job, and I'm going to always leave you knowing, like, TT put that work in, all right? Anybody that's worked with me, and I don't say that with an arrogance, I say that with full humility in my heart. If you've worked with me on a production, whether it was behind on a production team or if I was on set or on a movie or whatever, I come in to work. I love to have fun. I'm always going to add an extra something if you need it, but I'm there to do the job you hired me for. The job you bringing me on board for, you ain't never got to worry about me not fulfilling it. But there's people that will bring you on or pull you in because they want to connect to you. You ever met anybody like that? And that's rhetorical. If you feel like you want to be transparent and open up and say, yup, I feel you, TT. That's happened to me. That's my story. That's great. If you don't, keep it to yourself. God knows your heart, right? And you know what you feel. But a lot of times people will hold on to you, like I referenced earlier in the movie Cliffhanger. And they will definitely, I lost my folks on Instagram. Oh, I hope they come over here. But if not, I'll try to, I don't know. I'll figure out what I can do. Maybe I'll try to use this or something. I don't know. But anyway, for those of us that still left over here, sometimes people will hold on to you because they know you're doing something. And that's the only reason why they want to even pay attention to you. They want to be around you. Now, I do believe this. I'm not mad at people like that. And there's a saying, you can use me though, but don't use me. Like, don't come for me on that level. You're going to try to use me for my skills or the people I know or what I do. And then you speaking negative on me. Because let me tell you something I've learned. And this is hurtful. Oh my God, it's so hurtful. You know when somebody's talking about you when you're in their presence and the conversation shifts and it's like right now. And I'm not Billy Badass or none of that, but like I'd be like, I just talked about you. I just talked you up because I just said you ain't blah 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 or you crazy because blah blah blah, and you know, and people like, oh. And I'm like, I mean, I did just say that. I mean, you know, and I don't talk about anybody to like shade them. But it's kind of like you are who you are, and we're not blind, right? So when you do things and yes, you are very professional, competent, and go over. Oh, thank you, sis. Yeah, so are you, Melanie. So are you. I love her. And when you give your best, people want to have you around, rightfully so. I don't want to hang out with nobody that ain't doing nothing. I don't have time. I'm old, right? I was just recently in Atlanta. Shout out to Face. Shout out to Courtney and Christina, Bianca and Keith. Shout out to Carlos and his beautiful wife, Kima. We had the most amazing time celebrating her 50th birthday. And that's Kima from the group Total. When I tell you one of the humblest people, she's somebody, you know how you grow up listening to somebody or watching somebody on TV or in the movies and you meet them and you like, I don't know if I'm going to be starstruck. I've been blessed to be around a lot of amazing people. So I don't behave that way. I'm always humbled. Like, my God, like I get to meet somebody who I've only heard on the radio or saw in videos or seen in movies or saw on a stage play or whatever that looks like. But when I tell you, it was just the most amazing time. And then I had an opportunity to visit Tyler Perry Studios. When I tell you, I don't know how to really put this in words, so I'm going to try to explain the feeling that I felt inside. Standing on that property, I told my husband, I said, Swift, you know, we were down there, we was politicking, networking, we was hanging out with our extended family, having a great time. And I said, before we leave Atlanta this time, I have to go to Tyler Perry Studios. I have to. And so he's like, bet, let's go, let's do it. So Cody, like, let's go, you know, so we pumped. And as I was riding on the freeway and you saw the signs, I was like, oh my God, you would have felt like, now I think that moment I felt starstruck. And I was just like, oh my God, because I really admire Tyler Perry. I've been to Atlanta and I put this in the atmosphere. One day I'm going to work for Mr. Perry. I'm going to work with him. I'm going to work in some capacity. I don't care if I start off as a janitor at the studio. I don't care if I drive the security cars around the lot. I don't care. I'm going to one day work with him. I'm going to one day be able to humbly tell him exactly what I think and how he's changed my mindset on the way I see certain things. And that's Teresa. That's TT. That ain't got to be you. You might be like, well, you know, I feel this way. I feel that way. And that's great because we all have our opinions and our own feelings. But when I stood on the property, I felt like I was in a season. I've been saying that and speaking into an existence, right? We talking about having dual residency, living in Atlanta and living in Michigan. You know, if the opportunity manifests itself where I get the chance to move to Atlanta, I'm out of here. To go and pursue that, I'm out. Parker, man, my dream is to work with Tyler Perry one day. Hey, bro. Hey, speak it. Work on that. Who said we can't dream? Who said we can't dream, bro? If you want that, do that. Make that happen. It happens every day. You know Parker, K-Ron Moore. Shout out to K-Ron. You know, we've worked with her here. She's a D girl. And when I stay in touch with her, we stayed in touch way before that. It wasn't one of those, see. I stayed in touch with her way before. So I stay in touch with people. You know how people say, yeah, when we move, we're going to stay in touch, blah, 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 blah. People do. I'm one of the people I like to follow up. Hey, just sending you a text. Some of y'all know that. If you know, we text sporadic out of the blue. You might be like, oh, okay. One day you will work with Mr. Perry. I'll receive that, sis. Thank you. You know, some days you just shoot that message from nowhere. And I'm that type of person. So I stayed in touch with K-Ron while she had moved and went to California. And then she ended up in Atlanta. And she got a beautiful story. Hopefully one day I'll be able to have her to come on and tell her story. I don't want to tell her story. But we kicked it. And I was just like, wow. And what she said was similar to another story that another person said that I know left Michigan, went to California, ended up in Atlanta doing their own thing. Also had the opportunity to be an extra on Tyler Perry's set. So we know people that have worked with him, right? And I remember one of the very first set designers, shout out to Paula, who is one of Tyler Perry's set designers. She worked with TJ Hemphill. She's a D girl. She's from the D. Okay. And when I saw her, this is a quick story. Hope it's quick. Y'all know how I do. So let me tell you real quick. So me, Swifty, and Vitra. Shout out to Vitra. We call her Tiny. Shout out to Vitra Stevens. So get it correct. Put some respect on her name. Okay. So anyway, so we drove down to Atlanta many years ago. I forgot what production Tyler Perry was casting for. So we drove all the way down there. And this is when I also, for the first time, ever heard the Bible experience. I've always wanted to hear the whole Bible, right? That was something so V was like, I'll just bring the Bible experience. So I was like, what is that? So we listened to the Bible experience, going and coming. It was amazing. Long and short, we got down there. That's where I met Courtney Benjamin, right? Never met Christina Benjamin. Courtney Benjamin. Met Paul Dean down in Atlanta. Who else went with us? I don't know why I felt like somebody else went down there with us, but I know for a fact in the car it was me, Swifty, and Vitra. I don't know. I don't know why I felt like somebody else went down there. But anyway, so we're down in line. And we were in when I tell you them lines was wrapped around, I think that casting audition was at the Fox Theater of Atlanta, I think. That line was wrapped around and around. We stood in line, no lie, 12 hours. 12 hours, y'all. We got there way before it started because we was like, we're going to be like early. I think everybody named mama knew because everybody want to work with Tyler Perry. Now, some of y'all might say, I don't want to work with, okay, well, that's fine. If you know, that's fine. But most people, a lot of people, some people, I remember being at school, one of my professors said, you can't group everybody, Teresa, and everything. So you can't say everybody. I'm like, but why not? And he's like, because everybody doesn't want to do that. So you could say some people. I'm like, okay. But so let me rephrase. Some people want to work with Mr. Perry. I know I do. So we were down there, we were in line, we were networking, we were politicking. And we're talking and we start seeing some of the talent walk on the property. And I was like, is that Little G? I was like, is that Little G from Silk? Now, mind you, I met Little G many years ago working on one of TJ Hempfield's productions here. Was it Return? Let me see. I think it was Peerless Times. I'm almost certain Little G was in Peerless Times. If that's the production. He's done some things with TJ, but I believe that's how I initially met Little G from Silk. So I saw him, and you know how you be like, you call out somebody's name, but you don't want to embarrass yourself. So you be like, I'm not gonna say their name out loud because they'll be looking like, I don't know you. So you know me though. I'm like, hey, right? So I was like, now everybody out there. I was like, Lil G. He walking from his car, he walking across the lot. And so I was like, I don't know if he heard me. So I was like, Lil G. So he looked, I was like, hey. He was like, hey. So I tried to run over. Security's like, oh, no, you can't. So he was like, she good. So I went under the little rope thing, went over there, gave him a hug. I said, what you doing here? He was like, I'm actually working on a set with Tyler. I said, oh my God. So he said, what are you doing here? You working on the set? I said, I wish. I said, I'm in line. I'm trying to audition. So he was like, that's cool. He was like, well, good luck to you. I hope you get it. I was like, I hope I get it too. So he was like, okay, well, I'll see you on the inside. I said, okay, I'll see you on the inside. So that was that. So we still talking, we in line, and we moving along a little bit. And I see this woman, and Paula is a beautiful woman. She's beautiful, right? So I looked, I said, is that Paula? I was like, nah. So I was like, Feature, is that Paula? And so she was like, where? So I was like, I think it's what. So I was like, Paula, right? She ain't saying nothing. So I was like, I don't know. It looked like Paula. Because I hadn't seen Paula in a while. I didn't know she had relocated from Michigan and moved to Atlanta. So I still was looking like, you know how you know a face, but you might forget a name. But of course, I worked with her. I had the pleasure of working with her. So I knew who she was. And I'm like, I said her name again. I'm like, what's the heck? I might as well. So I said it. And she looked and she walked over. And I'm like, oh my God, what are you doing here? She said, I'm one of Tyler Perry's set designers. I was like, oh my God. She said, yeah, I've moved here to Atlanta. I was like, oh my God. So she was like, y'all in line to audition? We was like, yeah. She's like, okay, well, I see y'all inside. So those were the first two people I ever knew that worked already for Tyler Perry. And I felt, because Paula, so humble, so down to earth. Little G, so humble, so down to earth. I just saw Little G, I think it was last year or earlier at the beginning of the year, either end of last year or the beginning of this year. He did a surprise cameo in Beth's video, Got Next with Swiftie. And I saw him. I'm like, oh my God, bro, I ain't seen you in so long. So it was so nice to catch up with him. But it was just like one of those, I believe if we work hard, y'all, and you are persistent and you are consistent, right? And you just believe and you keep sharpening your iron and you stay humble and you put in that work and you make sure that you position yourself, not use people, but position yourself to be in the right space at the right time. I think anything and everything is possible. I saw something that Tyler Perry said. I wish my phone didn't die. I would love to pull it up and play it. But I sat at my desk and I shedded tears because I got moved by what he said. And I said, wow. And it was just kind of like, it brought me to my thought on today's topic, being in a season, knowing what season you're in. We've talked about this before, but it's the waiting season. Some of us are in a waiting season. I know I'm in a waiting season. How long are you waiting, TT? I don't know. I'm gonna wait as long as I have to wait. See, what I know is you take your time. When we bake cakes or anything that we bake, a turkey or baked chicken, whatever, you don't want anything before it's done, right? Things take time. We have to be patient. We have to put in that work. You don't just throw a turkey in the oven and you didn't season it, you ain't wash it, you ain't base it, you didn't do all the things you need to do. I don't cook turkeys, but I know about them. So I eat them, but I don't make them. But I know all those things. So like, I just made some baked cream of mushroom baked chicken for my family before I did the show tonight. My mother's over for dinner, and I said, you know what? I'm just going to do something simple because I knew I had the show. I decided I was going to do the show because at first I wasn't going to do the show. And I'm like, no, I'm getting ready to shut down season 2, so I need to go on and end things on the right note. And even though I'm tired, and I'm like, I don't feel like it. I didn't feel like putting on my clothes. I'm in my work clothes, what I had on earlier at work. I'm like, you know what? Take me as I am. Take me as I am, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all don't care what I wear anyway. So it was just like, you know what? I told my husband, could you grab the chicken? I'm going to make cream of mushroom chicken, some mashed potatoes, and some peas. Simple. And my mother's like, okay, that works for me. I picked my mother up, brought her over. They're upstairs. They're having dinner. But I had to season it and get it all prepped and then put it in the oven. And it had to cook. And they had to wait. And, of course, our 12-year-old, like, is dinner ready? Like, that boy act like he don't never eat. But it was just, the point is, I had to wait. And then it was ready. And I didn't taste it, but everybody said it was good. And I came on down here so I can get in the show with you guys tonight. But it was just like, what season What season are you in? What season am I in? We're in the waiting season. We're in a season of newness. I believe, and I know most people say, everybody say that every time it's about to be a new year. I don't do New Year's resolutions. I don't do them. I used to back in the day when I was younger. My New Year's resolution is this, that, and the third. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do. And I realized, like, I'm just going to do. I don't got to tell you what I'm doing. First of all, we got to stop telling people what we do. Do you really care? Do y'all really care that I'm going to one day work for Tyler Perry? No, you don't. Does that make you geeked? No. Do you care? No. Did I share that? Yes. Why did I put that out there? Because I believe it. I'm going to do all I need to do. And as I said, if I have to work at Tyler Perry Studios as a janitor or driving a security car because I got a bachelor's degree in criminal justice, boop, boop. I also have my certification as a COVID compliance officer, so I can work on the set or on the studio, boop, boop. So, right? So, saying all that to say, I believe, I'm trusting that one day I'm going to work and I'm going to say, sir, I've spoken into existence, because there's a lot of things I've spoken into existence. I'm going to tell you this, okay? So, shout out to Courtney and Christina Benjamin, right, who really, really got me out here doing some crazy things. And when I say crazy things, chasing and believing, right? Chasing and believing. Hey, Ron. Hey. Shout out to Ron. He's the guy you want to follow. He's that guy you guys want. He's part of Team Beth. Amazing. So, Courtney and Christina, like I said, have me doing some crazy things. And when I say crazy things, having radical faith. That's what I mean by that. Courtney is the reason why I became a podcaster. Courtney started the label Benjamin Entertainment Group. It's going on 12 years. And Christina Benjamin was his first artist. Okay? Officially. Okay? That's the reason. That was his heartbeat to even breathe it. Okay? And he built that label from sweat and tears, hard work, sharpening his own iron. People closed the door, told him no. He kept going. Even when they went through some things and hardships, they kept going. I saw that. We've been down since I met Courtney in line auditioning for Tyler Perry, okay? Many years ago. That's how I met Courtney Benjamin. So we come back to Michigan. That's another story. That's a whole nother thing. Okay, I got to have him on one day and talk about that, but that's another story. So Courtney started the label. Christina's an artist. I'm like, okay, Courtney working. He's her manager. I'm like, let me be her artist assistant. I'm gonna make sure the job gets done. I can go in when you can't go. So if you're not available to go out with her, send me. I knew about her writer. I saw contracts. So I'm like, okay, this is what's supposed to be in place. Securing the bag is number one. We securing bags when we get there where artists not performing. It's in the contract, it's in the rider. Don't play no games. Don't come for me, and I won't come for you. And I'm gonna be so professional when I tell you that the artist can't perform because according to the contract, and you still got to give me that envelope because that's a must. But anyway, moving on. So anyway, I started out being an artist assistant with Christina Benjamin. Okay. And I would sporadically do things with other artists that was on the label if they needed me to fill in, if they assistant couldn't make it or something like that. But my artist that I'm still assigned to this day is Christina Benjamin. So I'm like, all right. So when Courtney first started working with Beth, he was just like wow, like she's a finished product. It's like a well-oiled train, run smooth. Everything has a system. It's like it ain't just step on and the smooth ride, right? I'm like, damn, that's what's up. So I was watching her and I'm like, dang. I'm like, dang, I would love to work with her too. I was like, well, because I'm also Courtney's personal assistant at the label. So I'm an artist assistant, but I'm an executive assistant to Courtney at the label. So I'm like, well, do you ever need me to come out with you and go with her? And he was like, no, not right now. If there ever is an opportunity, then I'll definitely speak on it. And I'm like, okay, bet. So that we didn't talk about it for no more, we would meet regularly for label meetings and stuff. So we were having a label meeting one day and he told me firstly about podcasting. And I was scared. Like, I don't know nothing about no podcasting. Now, for those of you that know, I was on 9:10 a.m. with Dodie. Shout out to Dodie. And we had a show on there called Girl Bye. And so amazing. We had a good run with Girl Bye on 9:10 a.m. And so that was fun. That's when I realized, like, I like doing radio. Like, I didn't even know. Like, it's a natural thing, right? I'm like, okay. Hey, I love it. And it's kind of like podcasting, but just different. So I was like, okay. So we did that. Courtney's like, you really should start podcasting. And I'm like, I'm a marriage ministry leader person too. Like, those of you don't know that, I was consecrated to do that too by our pastor. Shout out to Pastor Harvey Carey. And okay, so anyway, so a lot of things y'all probably don't know about me, right? I do a whole lot. I'm like a little Jamaican. But anyway, so we were having that meeting. And then Lola had hurt herself. So they were one person short to do this event. So Courtney called and was like, hey, you available to work with me this weekend? And I'm like, yeah, what's what we doing? So he was like, with Beth. I was like, really? He was like, yeah. He was like, just come out and jump in. I don't know what they need just yet, what you'd be doing, but you roll with me, blah, blah, blah. So because I'm already Courtney's assistant. So I'm like, okay, bet. So we went and I was nervous because when I was intimidated. Not like I couldn't keep up, but I was intimidated like, damn, I have not seen a team like that. And I was on the outside, y'all, and I'm on the inside with Team Beth. But I was on the outside looking like, damn, Courtney's right. They dope as hell. And they run like a smooth, well-oiled train, just like Courtney said. So it was kind of like I just look, and I'm one of them people. It's just like working on a set, right? I can come on your production, and I've done it. And I say this humbly, because it ain't really me. It's God's gift within me that he's placed in me that I can adapt quickly. And I watch and I learn fast. And because I'm educated in different places and I wear different hats, I know how to double dutch and jump in where I'm needed. I don't got to be like, well, that ain't my role. I don't do that. We got to move them speakers. Let's go. Who helping? We got to vacuum that up. Got to take the trash out. We got to go pick up dry cleaning. We got to what? They need somebody to run. Okay, coffee run. Okay, product. What? Hey, what you need? What you need? That's who I'm. I'm that girl. I'm TT from the D. I'm that girl. So anyway, got there met Face and Keena and Wanda and Micah and Lewis, Top Dog, A, and Beth, humble. Beth is like, she has the spirit. I watched her that day. I ain't gonna never forget this. I watched her walk through that crowd. She was performing for the mayor of Inkster, I think. It was an event, I think it was. If I remember that correctly, it's been a minute. But the way she walked through the crowd, people wanted to meet her. It was like she gave me the back in the day Diana Ross vibe. If I probably date myself, some of y'all might be young and be like, Diana, who? You should know who Diana Ross is. If you don't know who she is, I don't know. Okay, so it was just like watching her walk through that crowd and work that crowd. It was like she's a star, but humble, right? One of the most humblest women you'll ever meet. Talented as all get outside, but it was just like, And I told Courtney, I said, when the opportunity arrives, I wanna join Team Beth too. I'm always gonna be Team Benjamin, but I want to jump on that because Courtney manages Beth. So I'm like, it makes sense when Courtney rock and there's an opportunity or it's a need for me, I rock, right? And Courtney like, yo, when I can't be there and it's a need, I need you to go out, bet, right? So it just makes sense. And so that's how I got on the Team Beth. But I said all that to say, you speak it into existence. I claimed it. I wanted to do it. And the opportunity presented itself. And then when Lola returned, I thought, well, it won't be a need for me anymore. It was fun. I had a good time. I would still go out and see Beth perform if that was the case, because I'm like, she's and God's provided. And they've extended the open door to me, right? I think I'm one of the last people to join Team Beth. And it's just been an amazing journey. And so I say all that to say, I believe that one day I'm going to work with Tyler Perry and people that are on that level, because that's what I want to do. I want to do that. I believe that one day my show is going to be syndicated. In what capacity? I don't know. I don't know. I had an amazing meeting. I will say this. Look at Jesus. Look at Jesus. So I had an amazing meeting with an amazing young lady last week before I went to Atlanta. An amazing meeting, powerful meeting. And I'm nervous, but I'm like, season 3 going to be something different. Trust me when I say that. That's all I'm going to say. Season 3 going to be something different. If it be the Lord's will. Okay, if it's meant to be, it's going to, baby, it's going to be a great season for TT from the D. And I want to give you more of me. And when I say more of me, I won't be all lives, okay, guys? I can't be in front of this camera every day. Can't do it. Don't have the time for it. And I still got to balance out my work life, my role as a wife, my role as a mother, my role as a daughter, my role as an auntie, my role as a sister, my role as a friend. And I'll be all over the place. I like to support people. I'm an entrepreneur. Shout out to Marcus Devine. It's because of Marcus Devine that you guys know about Credit Enterprises. What? And Marcus doing amazing things, right? He's one of the dopest producers in the best. But anyway, it's because of people. When you put yourself around people, you surround yourself around people, you do things. I started my company, TT Consultation Services. Again, shout out to Marcus Devine and Toy Devine. My very first official client is the beautiful, talented Kimyana Zanye. Shout out to Kimyana Zanye. She's one of my very first clients, official clients that I had that believed in me. Tyler Perry would be blessed to have you working for him. Oh, thanks, Ron. From your type on here to the readers, hearers, seers, and doers of Tyler Perry, and maybe Mr. Perry one day. I don't think he'd be on my live, but yeah, okay. Maybe one day he'll see it, maybe not, but we spoken into the atmosphere. I believe that too, and it would be an honor for me to work for him because he's an amazing person. Just an amazing person. To learn from someone like him is just amazing, right? Just amazing. So, Marcus Devine is the one that encouraged me to start Cricket Enterprises. And when I tell you Cricket Enterprises is doing some amazing things, and we're getting a lot going on, and I'm like, I'm building even me a team. And I'm thinking like, I ain't never think I was gonna have a team, like my own team. Like, but I wanted to be that go-to girl. I told Marcus, and Marcus heard me. And I love talking to Marcus. Marcus is also very, very intuitive, very, very down to earth, very humble, but will get you together in a good way and about his business. And he don't waste time with people that ain't about theirs, right? But he spoke that and he sowed that seed in my life. See, I was in another waiting season. He spoke that. It manifested. Look at this back here. Y'all see this pull up right here? This image, this look. Shout out to Lola George. Shout out to Toy Divine. Because between the two of them queens, that's that image you see, that look that y'all see. Shout out to 211 Studios. Shout out to Melanie, my sister, who got me together for my photo shoot. It was shout out to Cedrina, created this beautiful pull up, my business cards. When I tell you God will place people in your life to make sure that you get what you need and be where you need to be. But I'm also that girl. If I'm in your life and God has put me there, and let me be clear, I ain't going to be in everybody's life forever. Ain't everybody going to be in my life forever. We know that. Why? Because there's no forever on this earth. However, when I say forever, it's a season. Some things are seasons. Some things are long-term. Like, for instance, my relationship I have with Melanie RN, that's my sister friend. I say sister friend because she's my extended family. She's a sister by choice from my heart, my soul, and my spirit. She's the sister that I have that God didn't put on my bloodline, but he definitely put in my life. She's one of my youngest son's godmothers. Okay. And so watching her, she encouraged me to do things. Going back to school, getting my degree, getting my bachelor's. I saw her do it. And it's just so much. When God just wants you, it's waiting seasons, right? Just like we got crushing seasons. You know, my boss, who's our director of special ed in Southfield, amazing woman, crushing season. She's my boss. She's my friend. She's somebody I'm going to always rock for, stand by, got her back no matter what. You meet people along your journey. That's how I met my sister friend, Charity. Just, I could go off and I'm not going to do that. I just said these things to say seasons, waiting seasons, crushing seasons. Some of y'all need to cliffhang some folks. I know it's tough. It's going to hurt because we're so used to loving people and wanting to be there for people. And there's nothing wrong with that. But some people will hold you down and drown you. They know they can't swim and they will hold on to you knowing like, if I hold on to you, you're going to drown and I'm going to drown because maybe you don't know how to really swim really good. You can swim enough for you, but you trying to help me and you trying to help me and me panicking might make you drown. I don't want to do that. But some of y'all selfish. Some of y'all are users. Let's be clear. Let's be 100%. Some of y'all are users. Some of y'all are manipulators. You going to speak a good game. Oh, you going to talk a good game. You going to fail water to the moon. I've encountered some of y'all. And I'm like, it's hurtful. Because I'm like, why you ain't even got to be like that? God has blessed me and you in ways that's unimaginable because we don't even use our whole full capacity of our brain, right? And I forgot the percentage. I learned it in one of my classes, but I'm not going to try to go and guesstimate it and give you a hypothesis because it really wouldn't be a hypothesis. But we don't use our full capacity. Some of us have a certain capacity level and that's all we got. And that's okay. And we got to meet people where they are. But some of y'all need to let people go, right? Y'all need to let people go and be great. Some of y'all are time thieves. You steal people's time. Like, I cannot stand going to meetings and they ain't productive. I can't stand. That's one of my pet peeves. Let me be clear. I don't need to sit in a meeting 45 hours. Tell me what you need from me. I don't know what you got. Some of these slackers. Because some of y'all slackers, y'all hide. And I be looking like, you don't be doing nothing. You be acting like you doing something, but you ain't doing nothing. But okay. Here's my thing. Do what you need to do and be a slacker. Okay. But don't be a slacker and not do your job and look like you're doing your job and your stuff ain't done. Like, wait. And then somebody looking at me like, well, they're going to need some support. They don't need my damn support. Because if I told you what they be doing, you would be like, I'm not supporting the needy. That ain't my calling no more. That was my calling. But I recognize that ain't my thing. That's not my gift. I can't support the lazy. I can't support the lazy. That ain't for me. I can't do it. So anyway, moving on. Some of y'all need to stop being lazy. Some of y'all crying like, why they getting to sit back and reevaluate you? Some of y'all need to do a reality check in the mirror by yourself. You ain't got to have an audience. You ain't got to go and put yourself before the masses. Some of y'all need to have a good, firm, stern conversation with yourself. Some of y'all need to look in the mirror, because some of y'all talk to yourself and you don't answer yourself, and you probably should sometimes. But y'all know what I mean. And say, you know what? I'm not happy with the way you acting. I don't like what you've done. I'm not liking this road you're on. That's hard conversation. If you can't choose to check yourself and be honest with you, well, who you gonna be honest with? The people you lying to? They really don't care. Because at the end of the day, a lot of people don't care. You know, you learn something like this. When you ask a person, how you doing today? You really shouldn't ask people how they doing today. If you ain't prepared to stand there, because you could be the only person to ask somebody that. You could be the difference between a person having a mental breakdown, a meltdown, or taking their lives, right? You could be that person that was the deciding factor that they said, you know what? There is somebody that cares about me, right? You also could be that volatile person, that nasty person that takes somebody over the top, because maybe you are not a nice person. Some of y'all are not nice people. You pretend, but you rotten inside. And that's being honest. What that got to do with waiting season? Not much. I just decided to tell you that because some of y'all need to hear that. Some of you are rotten to the core. And you ain't never going to do nothing with your life because you're miserable. And that's your fault. You can't blame people for your miserableness. Is that a word? Miserableness. I know my friends that are teachers going to come for me if that's not. It's all good. I love y'all. But some of y'all are just bitter and, you know, angry. I used to be very angry, but I didn't act it out. I would be angry at home, crying and pissed off at home because I was production hurt. But I realized my time is valuable. And now people pay me for my time, right? My skills now make me money. It gives me opportunities to connect with people that are like-minded, because I have no time to waste with people that are you talking about it, but you're not being about it. I ain't got time for that. I got all the love for you, probably. I don't know. Depends who you are. But I ain't got time to be sitting down there. You gonna hold me hostage with time? No. Nope. Not doing that. Can't do that. I'm not gonna steal nobody's time. I'm not gonna have you over here having a meeting about nothing. I'm gonna come to you and want a meeting when I got something we need to meet about. And let me be clear about time. This shouldn't take no more than 30 minutes, 45 minutes at the most, or whatever. Depends on what we're talking about. But stop being vampire thieves of time. Some of y'all do that. Some of y'all are, Courtney taught me this word. What's that word? Dang. Some of y'all suffer from imposter syndrome. I think that's right. Let me be clear about this, and all jokes aside. God has gifted you with your own skills, your own talent, your own abilities. Somebody down the pathway in your past, or could be in your current life right now, or may await you in your future, that's going to tell you, that's a dumb idea. You shouldn't do that. If I was you, I wouldn't do that. That don't make no sense. Everybody trying to do that. You shouldn't do that. Anything is possible. When I tell y'all that I believe one day I'm going to work for Tyler Perry, it's possible. It's possible I might not, but it's possible I might. I believe that. That's what I trust. That's what I want. So I do the necessary things to try to do that. Like, I submit my resume. I know they get tired of saying me. It's like, is this girl submitting this again? Yes. I'm submitting again. Yeah, I'm not a stalker, but I'm persistent, right? If I lived in Atlanta, I'd be like, let me get a job at a coffee place that's near them, because maybe they run coffee and get coffee. I don't know. I'm just talking hypothetically on that. But on a serious note, don't let nobody tell you what you can't do. Also, don't be too mighty and too big that you might say, you want me to do what? I ain't supposed to be running to get nobody no coffee. I'm like, what? You need me to go get your coffee? I get it. You want me to make the coffee, or you want me to go get the coffee? Like, which I want me to do? Let me know what you want me to do. And that's from my heart. I don't have a problem jumping in where I need to. But I know that God got greater for me. Why? Because I've been consistent and dedicated to the craft. I've been blessed with people who've taught me things. I remember all the years I've done production, I've heard the term, but Mike Lynch, shout out to Mike Lynch. I learned from Mike Lynch exactly what a ghost light was. But I heard it. I learned from Mike Lynch the story on how it even became something. I remember standing on stage, working on a production with Mike Lynch, and he educated me on that. That takes me back to you can always learn something. I knew what a ghost light was. I didn't know the meaning behind it. I didn't know. And I almost got us fined because I was about to break a rule. And I didn't. He's like, so that was a whole thing. And it was just like, wow. Although I knew what it was, I didn't know the story behind it. I didn't know the meaning. And it gave me a whole nother mindset on when I hear or I see a ghost light. Like, oh, you don't do that when you see a ghost light. Right? But that's just a small thing of what I'm saying. So I'm going to end the show because I could go on and I don't want to keep you long. Y'all know the hour is the mark that I be trying to hold honest to because I don't want folks to not want to tune in. But I'm going to end with one of my favorite songs off of Everard Cassimy's The Life of James new project. If you don't have it, you should download it. I have the whole thing here, and I'm going to end it with a song. I named this drink at his album release party. It was because he had a theme. He named all his drinks after these songs, but I named this song Underappreciated. No, I didn't. I think he did. I think I did the Amen. I named Amen. So this was a song he let me hear before many people heard it. And I felt honored, but it was just like, wow, this was my story. It was almost like Everard heard me talking to myself or heard me crying out loud, and he wrote it. And so some of you might feel this or may have felt this in your past. Hopefully you won't have to feel this in your future, but maybe you did. But guess what? At the end of the day, what God got for you, he got for you. I want you to remember, if nothing else from tonight, recognize the season you're in. I'm in a waiting season. I don't know your season, but you do. If you take time to think about you, you do. So with that being said, this is Underappreciated from Everard Cassimy.
I'm feeling underappreciated. I'm feeling underappreciated. You think I ain't got nothing to be mad about? Well, you be steady using my whole name for clout. I'm feeling underappreciated. Need you to understand how pissed off I really am. How dare you talk to me like that? I'm a grown-ass man. I work hard just like everyone else. And I stay humble, if I do say so myself. Yeah, I'm snitching on them. This song sneak dissing on them. You're no straight pissing on them. Cause I'm tired. Time they step into the ring, I done the same thing. I'll be fired. I'm feeling underappreciated. I'm feeling underappreciated. You think I ain't got nothing to be mad about? But you be steady using my whole name for clout. I'm feeling underappreciated. Such a double standard, the things they do. Running around and bossing everybody around cause of you. Mind your manners, please, before I get an attitude. And at that point, who gon' check me? Yeah, I'm snitching on them. This song sneak dissing on them. You're no straight pissing on them. Cause I'm tired. Time they step into the ring. Cause if I done the same thing, what you think? I'll be fired. Giving them the flowers. Time I got mine too. Walk around nose in the air. all because of you. I can't take it no more, so I gotta let you know. I deserve my respect. Baby, cut my check. Saying it again, in case you wasn't listening. Deserve some respect. Baby, cut my check. I ain't finished yet. Listen to what the song says. I'm feeling underappreciated. I'm feeling underappreciated. You think I ain't got nothing to be mad about? Like you be steady using my whole name for clout. I'm feeling underappreciated. Give me my respect.
I have one more thing I want to share, and that is I feel like I got next. I feel like each one of you got next. And with that being said, I'm going to play, and this is my last thing for show tonight, Got Next by Beth featuring Swifty McVeigh. And as I said earlier in the podcast show, you'll see that cameo guest appearance by Little G from Silk. Here we go.
Our time. What? Y'all had a chance to shine, and we'll be cutting y'all in front of that line. You either out or you riding. My homie right beside me with a hustling persona and a crown full of diamonds. Climbing these charts and you ain't stopping her profit. She's staying on fire like the back of a damn rocket. We in total control. Cold as the North Pole, busting these flows. It's our time to blow, so just know.
They may be on right now, but somehow, trust me, I got